a theme, touchstone to recognize a standard by which we're recognized. Okay, we know who we are. There's a standard. We talk about the standard all the time. It's not just the way we perform on Sunday, it's how we go about our life on and off the field. We got to take advantage of every opportunity. Seize everything, man. Carpe omnia.
It's week number 5 of this NFL season and time for another edition of the Mike McCarthy Show, powered by Reliant Energy inside the Globe Life studio here at the Star in Frisco. Bill Jones along with Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy as the Cowboys get set to take on the San Francisco 49ers. Sunday night football this week. Coach, after a big 38-3 win over the Patriots, not a problem getting the players' attention when it's the 49ers next on the schedule, right?
I mean, no doubt. I mean, these are the kind of games you live to play and you dream about. I mean, we know it's the regular season, but really looking forward to the matchup Sunday night. When
you look at this San Francisco team, a lot of similarities to what you saw in January with some additions along the way too. What do you see when you see Kyle Shanahan?
Well, I agree with you. I think number one, the best video for us to watch was last year's game. Doing a lot of variations of what they've done, so you can see where they've put some time in in the offseason. Got a new defensive coordinator, but they've kind of for the most part have stuck to the schemes and the beliefs. So we're anticipating maybe some down and distances and situations may be different, but yeah, just a lot of carryover from last year.
Of course, Steve Wilks, the defensive coordinator, DeMeco Ryans now the head coach for the Houston Texans, and kind of starts up front in that defensive line too. And they added a guy you're familiar with when he was with Philadelphia, Javon Hargrave there.
Absolutely. There's going to be a lot of pass rush on the field Sunday night on both sides.
Right.
You can definitely, I can promise you that. But no, it's a very deep defensive line. I think Hargrave has given them another dimension. I mean, they got two weapons inside, and obviously the complement of Bosa and once again their depth all the way through I've been very impressed with.
It's interesting when you look at both rosters, both offense and defense. There's really seems to be similarities across the board. These teams are built to win now in this league.
Well, yes. I mean, it starts up front. I think both teams recognize that, and you can see, it's just like anything in our game where you get what you emphasize. And I would say clearly both organizations have emphasized winning the battle at the line of scrimmage.
Tony Pollard, of course, goes down with the injury in the playoffs last year. Just seeing him and the work that he put in his rehab and where he is now in his career, it really says a lot. And it's really gratifying to see that Tony Pollard is back to where he is right now, right?
Absolutely. I mean, Tony's very diligent. I mean, you follow players as they grow in their careers, but his personality is he's very detailed. He's the leader of that running back room now, and so impressed with how he leads. Great teammate, but yes, he attacked the offseason program just the way he wanted, and we were smart with him in training camp. And I look for Tony to have a big day.
You rely so much on the run game, and for a statistic in particular that you talk about blinking lights, a positive blinking light. Third down percentage, first in the league on third down, and you're having these long, sustained drives so far in the first 4 games of the season. You got to love what the offense is doing, moving the football down the field.
Well, definitely. I mean, we're like every football team in this league. You go through the offseason and you look at your team and what areas you want to improve on. Obviously, we feel great about our defense, but the complementary formula, there was 2 areas that we felt like we really needed to improve in, and that was time of possession and ball security, and so far those 2 have been very good for us, and I think it definitely shows up. And you look at the number of snaps our defense has played, so it really gives us a chance to keep those guys fresh and let them do what they do best, and that's getting after offenses and taking the ball away. So, but yeah, I mean, we always want to score more points, and there's always a situation, but third down has been key to that. It's super been a key because it's extended every drive and gives us the opportunity to go the full field and have great confidence on third down, which is a lot of people would say is the hardest down in football.
And Cowboys are doing well on third down. All right, when we come back here on the Mike McCarthy Show, it's David Moore of the Dallas Morning News.
Overall, it's going to be physical. You could scheme up any kind of play that you want, but at the end of the day, you got to beat the man that's in front of you.
The Mike McCarthy Show, presented by Reliant, is brought to you by Ford. Ford is the best in Texas. Bank of America, the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Cowboys. It's Miller time. And by Reliant, official energy provider of the Dallas Cowboys.
Welcome back to the Mike McCarthy Show, powered by Reliant Energy, and here inside the Globe Live studio, Bill Jones now joined by David Moore of the Dallas Morning News, SportsDayDFW.com. And David gets fired up for games like this. This is a big game as far as David's concerned. David, is it a big game as far as those players in that locker?
It's really only what I consider, right? It really doesn't. Yeah, I mean, this is, while statistically it is only one game in the standings, no one in the organization is trying to make that argument. There is a symbolic importance to this game against a team that knocked them out of the postseason the last 2 years. There is a psychological impact of this game, which is, San Francisco at some point, based on the NFC landscape, you're going to have to get by them potentially in the postseason to get to where you want to go. Do you really want to lose another game to them and potentially face them later? So the stakes are pretty high on this. And I thought, don't tell him this, I thought Mike McCarthy actually had a good quote in one of his press conferences during the week where he was asked about the game, and he said, well, this isn't when you get into a fight with somebody and then you're walking down the street looking around the corner to see if you find them again so you can go after them. We have to win this game. We know what this game means. It is only one game, but there is more importance to it than winning one game in the standings.
All right, when you look back at the two playoff losses, there's one thing that I look at. Tony Pollard, of course, he got hurt in the game in January, and then the previous year, he could be the X factor if he is healthy in this game and they use him like they want to use him.
I agree with you completely. It's stunning to know what a big part he is of this offense, and then look at those two postseason appearances against San Francisco and see he only rushed for 36 yards total in those two games. Last game was because he had the horrible injury, 19 snaps into the game. But the game before that, he just didn't touch the ball. I think he had 4 carries and 2 receptions. He's a much bigger part of the offense now. He is one of their key playmakers. And while they don't make excuses for last year's postseason loss, losing one of their only 2 playmakers at that time when they did in that game, I think compromised Dallas dramatically in that last postseason loss.
There's so many good matchups in this game, but when you're watching this game, what are you zeroing in on?
Well, I got to go to Micah Parsons. I mean, here he's been very vocal about wanting to be Defensive Player of the Year or more. You've certainly seen him over the first 4 games show that he's worthy of being in that conversation. And he's going against Nick Bosa on the other side of the ball, who was the Defensive Player of the Year. Outstanding players and players who win awards tend to make statements in these games. This is a game for Micah Parsons to make a statement in.
It should be fun to watch on Sunday night. David Moore, we appreciate it. Up next here on the Mike McCarthy Show, let's check in with one of those big guys on the Cowboys offensive line.
Obviously it's super competitive, but I think it's competitive the right way. Like, we truly are an iron sharpen iron type program, and guys just do well at challenging themselves for sure.
This segment is brought to you by WinStar World Casino and Resort, the casino of the Dallas Cowboys.
It's the Cowboys and the 49ers Sunday Night Football. Welcome back to the Mike McCarthy Show, and time to check in with one of the big guys on that Cowboys offensive line, the first-round draft pick from last year, Tyler Smith.
The tenacity, we have as a team is some of the best, I've ever seen, being on teams throughout high school, college, this level is definitely different, and just in the fact that the guys bring it every day. I mean, you'll hear a lot of guys say, tackle is kind of the island and then guard is the phone booth. A lot of things happen faster at guard. Your steps got to be faster and more measured to me. You just got to be quick with your hands. Like, you have to have really good hand play. And you just got to be you know, it's a little bit more hard-nosed. You know, the guys in the interior are bigger, so you got to be a bit more powerful, tighter with your steps, better with your leverage and things of that nature. Whereas a tackle, you know, you have to be great with your feet, also great with your leverage, and you just got to be great with your set tree as well. So I feel like those are the main differences. Obviously, they got big athletic dudes. Obviously, you know, they got a great player in 97. You know, he's gonna come bringing it. But their interior D-line is great as well. In 91 and 98, they're great D-linemen. You know, they bring it. Like the things that they do it extremely well, and they don't really deviate from there. But I think it'll be a great challenge for us. I think we're well equipped to handle it. You know, I think we can go out there and play at elite level and really show, you know, what we can do versus their elite front as well.
Tyler Smith and the rest of the Cowboys offense will see a San Francisco defense that's really tough, and Will McClay is here to break down some of those front seven guys, and they've got some Pro Bowlers in that front seven.
Yes, they do. We'll start with Hargrave here. Free agent signing, had 11 sacks last year, but he plays the run. You're going to look at him here. They're very good against the run because of their people, all right? Looks like they've got a pin and pull play here. Think they're going to get to the perimeter, but you got to block Hargraves, and there he is for tackle in the backfield.
And you got Hargrave, the former Philadelphia Eagle, and you got Nick Bosa on the outside there.
Nick Bosa, you want to run to the perimeter. He sets the edge. Hargrave takes two. The good front, we talk about the front seven, they fill up the gaps, but you see Bosa, he's got his eyes in the backfield, and then he's able to shed his man because of the defense and make a tackle there.
So you got him on the outside, and then you got another guy who's an all-pro middle linebacker in Fred Warner.
Fred Warner, one of the best linebackers in our league right now. And you'll see, again, another great scheme to attack the defense, but you got to block the Jimmies and the Joes. So here they're going to try and combo up to Warner, perimeter run, he keys it, and it's a good run if Fred Warner's not there.
He was free to make that tackle. So that's what they can do at run defense. How about pass defense with these guys?
Well, I mentioned Hargrave and his 11 sacks. Here they're going to mug gaps, okay? They're going to show all these guys up front to mess with the protection. They're only going to rush 4, but now you're going to watch Hargrave split 2. They're going to run the game, split 2, and then there's a sack.
All right, and then Nick Bosa, well, he had 11 sacks last year with the Eagles, and Nick Bosa had 18.5 sacks with the Niners.
And here's Bosa, and again, rushing 4. They can drop 7, all right? These two get great pressure up the middle. Quarterback can't step up, and then you see Nick turn the corner and get pressure on the quarterback for an incomplete pass.
And with the middle linebacker, Fred Warner, he's a guy who never comes off the field. 3-down linebacker, never misses a game, and he can do it in pass defense.
He can do it in the pass game. Here you see them in a cover 2 type coverage where he's got to be the middle run-through player. He takes the tight end and runs with him, and then the instincts to get his head back, tip the ball, tips and overthrows. They capitalize on it. A very tough defense that we've got to be alert for, not only the front seven, but the guys in the back.
So there you have it. 3 big reasons the Giants have one of the toughest defenses in the league. Our thanks to Will McClay, and the head coach rejoins us next year on the Mike McCarthy Show.
But yeah, I mean, you go back and look at the last time we played them in last season's games to the first 4 games, it's pretty similar. I mean, it's a team that is confident who they are good at what they do, and no reason for them to change things up.
This segment was brought to you by WinStar World Casino and Resort, the casino of the Dallas Cowboys. This segment is brought to you by Blockchain.com. Make your crypto play today.
Welcome back to the Mike McCarthy Show, powered by Reliant Energy, as the coach rejoins us here in the Globe Life studio and taking on this 49ers team. Let's talk about the 49ers offense a little bit, and Brock Purdy. Really, when you look at both quarterbacks in this game, Dak and Brock Purdy, very similar stories. Coming out of college, very successful in college as 4-year guys, third-day picks. Injury happens, rookie season, they get an opportunity and make the most of it. It really says a lot about both these guys at being able to step into a role like that so quickly in this league.
Yeah, definitely. I think it speaks to both the character. I do not know Brock personally, but you have to be impressed with what he's done in his short time in the league. I mean, obviously the winning percentage speaks volumes, but he has great command of their offense. The balls he's got a quick release. He has high arm speed. Very good anticipator, but they're doing some things that are distinctly unique to him and McCaffrey, and it's been very productive for him.
And it's obvious what Christian McCaffrey has meant to Kyle Shanahan's offense as well. You go back, they made the trade with Carolina last year, and starting with his first start, they've won 14 straight games in the regular season with him at running back. How difficult is it to defend a guy like McCaffrey?
Well, he's dynamic. I mean, he can do it from the backfield. He can do it, he can do it displaced. He's an excellent inside runner. I think that was always the wait and see. But he's like I said, complete back. He does a solid job in a blitz pickup, but he's definitely a primary focus for them. I mean, just looking at his touches reflects that.
Another hybrid type player for them, Deebo Samuel. Of course, you've got one in C.D. Lamb yourself that you use in some of the same ways that they use Deebo. Tackling is going to be a premium in this game, don't you think?
Yeah, definitely. And you're looking at two teams statistically right now that are very high in that area of fundamentals. So, and we'll do a good job come Sunday night. I have great confidence in that. But Deebo's, dynamic with the ball in his hands. Very, very strong, powerful runner. And we got to just make sure we attack with urgency. Stay to our leverage, and most importantly, tackle as a group. And we've been very good as far as the tackling battle. We've won the tackling battle, both as breaking tackles and, missed tackles every week so far. So that'll be big Sunday night.
Who was big on Sunday afternoon against New England? DaRon Bland. He's been big throughout his short NFL career. He's 4 games now into his second year. 2 picks in that game, a pick 6. And what is it about DaRon Bland that has allowed him to have this success this early in his career, being a 5th-round pick?
Well, for such a young player, he has a very high level of consistency, and you can see that right away. And you talk about a guy that's answered the bell every opportunity he's been given. I mean, started last year. We had to go and play at nickel. So very instinctive, very smart, very professional young man, and he's off to a great start. I mean, he's a great example for young guys that just keep your nose down, keep working, and he's produced at an extremely high level for us. So, but consistency is the first thing that comes out in my mind when I think of DaRon.
All right, we'll wrap up the Mike McCarthy Show, and we come back in just a moment.
The main purpose is to live in the backfield. You live in the backfield, you keep them going sideline to sideline instead of cutting it up on the inside zones and stuff. Feel like we'll have a pretty good day.
This segment was brought to you by Blockchain.com. Make your crypto play today.
Final couple minutes here of the Mike McCarthy Show as we get you ready for the Cowboys and the 49ers Sunday Night Football. And Coach, unsung star, I'm going to go with the fullback position, which has been an unsung position in this league for a while now. I think only about half the teams in the league are even employing a fullback these days. It's clearly a position that's important to your offense. And you look at San Francisco, and they've got kind of the standard bearer there in Kyle Juszczyk, who's a 7-time Pro Bowler. But I love what I'm seeing out of Hunter Lipke, and he's more than a fullback in your offense, it seems like to me.
Well, definitely. I mean, if you look at the fullback position and what they need to do, obviously to be part of the 53, it's they have to wear multiple hats. And I think clearly, Hunter's done an excellent job with special teams. But we've been doing a little more each week in the 2-back, and I've just been very, very impressed with the way he's played.
When was it? That last preseason game, he got an opportunity, he carried the ball, he did so much in that game. When was it that he really got on your radar that, hey, this guy is going to be on this 53?
To be honest with you, he was always very bright, but I think part of it's just the way these training camps are set up. I mean, you don't get in pads, and it's hard to know it's a fullback until you get to the padded work. So, but you could see it building through camp, and then obviously in the last preseason game, it was he clearly earned an opportunity to be on our team, and like I said, he's got a unique skill set because he can be a 1-back. He can play in the 3 wide receiver sets in 1-back offense too. So that's been a great addition for us.
All right, should be fun on Sunday night, Cowboys and the Niners. Good luck out there in Santa Clara, Coach. We appreciate all of you for joining us here on the Mike McCarthy Show.
The Mike McCarthy Show, presented by Reliant, was brought to you by Blockchain.com. Trusted by millions, trusted by America's team. Ford. Ford is the best in Texas. Bank of America, the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Cowboys. It's Miller time. And by Reliant, official energy provider of the Dallas Cowboys.